we want to start kind of defining some more roles within the crew. One being a captain or a cap or whatever you want to call it. And instead of putting somebody in that role and seeing how they do, we want to put people in the role that has pretty much already assumed that role, right? So Ilya has been running the weed operation. He's been doing very well, at least as far as I'm concerned. We can talk about it on Monday, though, before we, officially make anything official and put it up to a vote, whatever. And he's been running his own crew, obviously producing cash for us, kicking it up, whatever. And the other guy would be Teddy, who I spoke to yesterday, and he has been running his own crew for the materials and the weed. He's got a whole operation that he's running. And those two guys right now kind of fit the bill for captains. And Ilya will probably be the first guy that we officially promote and kind of see how that goes, assuming that things go well with our talk about him and assessing what he did while Arush was absent. Goes well, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Lucian also brought up asking, getting Gigi more of a, obviously the treasurer, but also an advisor role, which for me personally, I'm cool with, if she's cool with, but I'm not going to assume how she's going to feel, after a few months or whatever, but there is concern there for me that she will go crazy. Trying to be, she's kind of right now, she's kind of being the person that people go to talk about their problems. She's more than willing to hear them out, try to give guidance, which is great. But I think that burns so much fuel trying to do that all the time that it just drives you insane. Or at least it's driven me insane. It's why I left for Brazil, right?
Yeah.
So it's like only my concern there with her kind of going into that role. I mean, Lucian talked about how, it being something that's temporary, that sort of role doesn't last forever, which is good, but it's just something to think about.
Yeah.
Because she would be doing the two most stressful things for the crew: managing money and then managing people.
Yeah, I feel like we need to set expectations with her when it comes to how deep she gets into advising people. Advising is just straight up giving people advice, telling them what they could do, what they, what might be good for the crew. That's it. I don't think she should dive into how people are feeling and whatnot. I mean, yeah, it's okay to hear people out and just have a decent conversation with somebody, but if she gets to the point where she's looking out for everybody's feelings, that'll 100% burn her out in a short amount of time.
It's like a very fine line, right? Like you want to, managing people is good, but then there's that fine line where it can just destroy you very quickly.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me if she ends up wanting to take that on. She seems like she likes being the kind of mediator, which would be good for us because I don't think really.
I mean, at the end of the day, we need somebody that's willing to put up with it, just to be kind of blunt about it, right? I can't put up with it. I refuse to. But it's also maybe a little naive to ignore the fact that this also is a part of it that comes with it. Like you have to at some point manage people, advise people and shit like that. I can't be asked to do it. Obviously you can't, Harry. Luciano doesn't mind doing it. I don't know how you completely feel about it, but maybe having somebody in that role that seems to enjoy it at least would be good.
I'm 50-50. I have my limits with it as well. I dealt with it 5 years ago. I'm 50-50 with it. So I'm, I got my limits. I'll just say that.
Yeah. So those are just things to kind of think about. What do you think, Harry, about Ilya and Teddy and shit and promoting them or not?
No, I think they earned it. Actually earned it,
Yeah.
I mean, Ilya was, back when he was pushing for Frank, he was basically doing it for free. I mean, he stepped up, and he more than stepped up. He stepped into the role. So,
yeah.
And Teddy's just extremely independent, which is great.
Yeah,
I forget he exists sometimes, and I say that in a good way.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily stepping up. It's just more of a stepping into roles that we need, right? Because somebody like Octo, for example, has stepped up tremendously, but I don't think he's like a captain. He likes to do things on his own. He's very low-key. He's very solo, right?
Yeah.
It's just more kind of seeing roles that we need within the crew and just putting people that are kind of already assumed that role into that official position.